everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. My name's Taylor, and if you're new here, I do all sorts of guitar related stuff like this on my channel. If you've been following my channel at all, you know that I've done a fair amount of content using the Hotone Ampero, and it's a very, very highly regarded piece of gear on my channel. So recently, I reached out to Hotone directly and asked if they'd be willing to do any collaboration videos with me. So they sent me an Ampero One to demo, and I'm really excited about this because I know a lot of people really like the Hotone Ampero. I'm really interested to see how this compares to the original Hotone Ampero in terms of not only performance and tone, but just in terms of floor space, and also just to see, you know, what the value is in this different unit, because I think it's a really interesting move on their part to make a smaller version of the Hotone Ampero. All right, let's open this thing up. All right. Okay, there you have it. Nice, sleek black box here. Let's open this thing up, see what it looks like. So there you have it. This part over here, power cord, USB cable. It's a long USB cable too. I really appreciate it when companies include a long USB cable. Okay, and here it is. Oh, it's tiny. Oh my goodness. It's so small. There it is. See that in that camera up there? Here, let's get out the original Ampero for comparison so that you can see the size difference. So here's the original Ampero, and here's the new Ampero One. It's not dramatically smaller, really by any means. You know, it's about the size of this foot pedal. Smaller, even though it still has a foot pedal on it. So a couple things I can say just by looking at them is the Ampero, the Hotone Ampero has more switches and ins and outs on the back. So it looks like the Ampero One does not have the XLR outputs. It doesn't have a mode switch for the input, so it doesn't have, you know, the line, acoustic guitar, electric guitar mode switch. It also doesn't have a ground lift on the back of it. And also the Ampero One does not have MIDI. So if MIDI switching is a big deal for you, this does not have MIDI on the back of it. That might be a deal breaker for a lot of people I know. Now, it looks like they've updated the screen a little bit. The screens look about the same size, but it looks like the screen is mounted in the Ampero One a little bit differently. So I'm kind of interested to see how that works, or if it's the same screen. The volume and the menu volume knobs are much smaller on the Ampero One as well. And it doesn't have these smaller value knobs underneath the screen, which I never use on the Ampero anyways. Maybe that's a big deal for you, but it definitely is not for me. Like I said, I never use those things. And we also have one less foot switch on the Ampero One. Now, even though these units aren't dramatically different in size, there is something else to consider when it comes to size. So this is the power supply for the Ampero One, and this is the power supply for the Hotone Ampero. They require different power outputs as well. The Hotone Ampero requires 18 volts and 500 milliamps, whereas the Ampero One requires 9 volts and 500 milliamps. This one looks like it retails for $499, and this one looks like it retails for $299. So it's a pretty massive price difference, considering the only major differences here are the Ampero One doesn't have the knobs underneath the screen, it doesn't have the XLR outputs, and it doesn't have the MIDI in. And it also has one less foot switch. So if you don't need those things, this is a really good value. Now, supposedly the hardware of both of these units is the same. I don't think there are any major differences in the way that they are supposed to sound, but we're gonna plug it in and find out anyways, so let's get over to that.
All right guys, so I'm over here and I am plugged into the Ampero One, and we are recording directly out of the 1/4-inch output from the Ampero One. And this is what the first patch sounds like when you plug into the Ampero One. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set up a couple different patches. The first one we'll do is we'll do a clean patch with, you know, some like ambient sound effects. The second one we'll do is we'll do like a heavy rhythm patch, and then we'll also do a patch for leads. So first thing I'm gonna go in here and do is I'm gonna hit edit, and I'm gonna disable everything besides just the amp and the cab, and I'll leave the noise reduction in there for good measure. I've got these lights in here and sometimes it creates some unwanted noise, so we'll leave the noise reduction on for now. Okay, let's go in here into the amp, and we are going to find something very clean. Let's go with this black twin here. I like this amp. I'm gonna dial the bass out quite a bit, maybe around there, and we're gonna boost these mids. And we'll turn the bright switch on. This is what we have. Still a little bit dirty. We can dial that gain back a bit. I'm liking that. I think that sounds pretty good. Probably want a different cab other than a Bogner 4x12. I mean, maybe not. Let's go with maybe, let's try this UK Modern. Now it is a little bit trickier to dial in some of these settings than previously on the Ampero, since the Ampero has these knobs underneath all of these different parameters, but you know, it's manageable. Let's throw on a compressor, and I really like this blue sustainer. Sound really nice there. Let's add some delay here. We have the same options as we do on the Ampero, and I really like the tube echo on the Ampero. And we'll turn the mix up a little bit here. Nice, sounds good with the trails. Okay, so in here we have the option to turn the trails on. Now what this will do is if you switch patches, this will allow your trails to bleed over into your new patch instead of cutting them off, right, when you switch the patches. And then you have the sync option here if you want to sync it up to a certain BPM, like, you know, maybe you're playing to a metronome with a band or something and you want that delay to sync up with your tempo. Let's go back here. I want to add a reverb. We have room, hall, church, plate, spring, Izumi, North Star. Then we start getting into the weirder reverbs here. Ocean Deep, Sweet Space, and Shimmer. Let's go all the way for 10 here and do the Shimmer reverb. Sounds pretty awesome right off the bat. Again, we'll turn the trail on. I really like this reverb a lot. Let's check out one of these other ones. I like this North Star one a lot too. Let's go with the North Star. And this one's pretty simple. You know, you just have your mix and your decay. That sounds really nice. Okay, let's save this patch. And oh, we have a keyboard here. That's pretty sweet. All right, now let's do more of like a heavy rhythm tone for all of you metalheads out there that watch my channel. I know that's what you want to see anyways. Let's change this cabinet first, because that 1x12 is not gonna cut it. I know in my experience with the Ampero that I really like this UK Modern cabinet, so we'll just go straight to that one. And I also know with my experience with the Ampero that I prefer the 421 microphone. And we'll edit the amp block. Obviously there's a lot of really cool amps modeled in here. We have to make a decision at some point, right? So we're gonna go with the Mesa Mark IV Lead 3 amp. Here's what that sounds like. think that sounds pretty good. Now let's go back here and let's boost this guy. You knew I was gonna do that, right? Pristine boost. Oops. Dial this gain back. We're gonna push that volume all the way up. We're gonna put in some bass, and we'll cut back some of this treble a little bit. Pretty sweet. Okay, let's save this guy. You know, having this keyboard really saves a lot of time in putting in patch names. That's a big pet peeve with a lot of modelers, is sitting there and spinning that wheel to do the character selection, and having a keyboard like this really just makes that a lot easier, so kudos on that. Now, if you aren't aware, if you haven't used the Ampero before, you can actually move these blocks around, which is super awesome. You triple tap the blocks, and then it'll turn red, and then you can just hold and drag the block wherever you would like it. So I'm putting the noise reducer in the beginning of my chain just to be able to catch some of that noise before the signal is actually processed by the amp and the boost pedal. Okay, let's do a lead patch now. Same thing here, we're gonna move this noise block to the front of the line, just to get rid of that noise before it actually hits the amplifier here. We're gonna increase this threshold because there's gonna be a lot of gain on this one. All right, and then we're gonna select an amp here, and I'm already feeling that I probably wanna go for like a Marshall or something here. Ooh, actually, you know what? Let's try the Friedman HBE version 2 on this one. I kinda know from experience using this amp that I like the presence lower. Turn the master up a little bit. And treble there, man. Yeah, that'd probably be okay. It's not bad, but this cab is not doing us any favors here. Oh yeah, it's a Vox 1x12, go figure. Let's go with that UK Modern again, because that cabinet actually sounds really good for a lot of applications here. And this time, let's throw 57 on it. Not bad, we definitely need to boost this guy as well though. So let's turn this on here. And you know what? I'm gonna go with the swarm drive on this, and we'll turn the volume up all the way. A little bit of gain. All right, we're getting there. I think we need a little bit more gain though for those squealies. And we definitely want a delay here. And I'm feeling probably like a ping pong delay, something. Ping pong. Let's add in a little bit of reverb here. I just want a little bit of room reverb. One more thing that I might want to do here. Oh, hey, look, it's already a compressor. Let's see what that's set at right now. All right, right, so what do you guys think about the new Ampero One from Hotone? Let me know down in the comments below. You know, if the tones and the effects out of the Ampero is what you are looking for, and you don't care so much about not having the MIDI in and not having the balanced XLR outs and not having a power switch, and the price point of the Ampero is keeping you from purchasing one, this might be a good point of entry for you, and you can still get the majority of the function that you could out of the original Hotone Ampero. So this is a really good option if the Hotone Ampero, you know, is just out of reach of your budget. The lower price point on this one really kind of makes a lot of sense. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit it twice. Wait, don't hit it twice, that'll unlike the video. Hit it 3 times, and subscribe, click the bell notification icon, do all that stuff. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye. Ha.